Hello everyone. So this is a screencast to help you navigate using the Lawrence Academy library page, specifically the LibGuides, to help with your genocide research. So the first thing you need to do is go to the library page. So go to Lawrence Academy, Academics, McDonald Library. Once you're there, you want to click on the LibGuides link. Now, a LibGuide is really helpful for research. It's like a one-stop shop for all of your sources. And Ms. Anderson has done a great job compiling all of those sources together for you and put them into one place, this LibGuide. So to access the LibGuide, you go to History, and then click on that first one, CSC History. Now, once you're in the LibGuide, there's a few different things to look at. The first one is the print reference sources. And so those are a list of helpful print books that can assist you with your research. And they're listed here. And Ms. Anderson will go over that more when we're in the library. You also have two quick links here, which we're going to talk about. And you have three tabs up here, Finding Books and Getting Started, E-Resources and Websites, and Tutorials for Searching Library Databases and the Web. And we'll go through each of those. Okay, so first, Finding Books and Getting Started. Let's take a look at that first quick link, the library catalog. Now, this is just a digital collection of all of the books the library has, and those include both print books and online books. So once you're in the library catalog, it looks like this, and you can go here and click in what you want to search. So let's say we're looking up things on the Rwanda genocide. You can further specify your search through saying what you want to look for in those keywords. Do you want it to be in the author, the subject, or the title? Now, the subject is quite helpful because it does look at the subject matter of the book. So it will look for books that are about the Rwanda genocide, not just books that might reference the Rwanda genocide here and there. So let's start with subject. You can also look in different types of materials. We're going to stay with all material types. And you click search. And this will bring you to a list of all of the books, as you can see here. To access the books, especially the online ones, which are noted with an eBrary, okay, you simply click on that link. And it will bring you to the book. So as you can see, the book is here, and then here is a table of contents, which will help you jump around to the parts of the book that are relevant to your research. Now, a really good place to start with books is the index, because then you can look for specific keywords or topics that you want to investigate more in depth. So let's say we want to look at forms of violence in this book. We see that it's on page 146. What you do is you go up to the top right-hand corner, and you type in that page, and it will take you directly there, which is really helpful. Once you're in the page, one of the really useful tools that you can use is creating a note. So let's say you read through this page, okay, and you want to create a note, you can do that. However, you do have to be signed in. So in order to sign in, you click here, and you just type in your Lawrence Academy username, and you will be good to go. Okay, and you can just do a little test note. Okay, and then that will help remind you of what you liked in this book. Another useful tool here is that you can add the book to your bookshelf in case you want to find it again later. So let's say this is a really useful book for us. What we can do is come over here, and it will say add to my bookshelf. You simply click on that, and boom, it was added to your bookshelf. So you can then go to the bookshelf and re-access the book. Okay, same thing with your notes. You can re-access all of your notes. When you go to Quick View, you simply click on Notes, and if you have any, they'll be listed there. Okay, so this is a really good way to go through the books that the library has to offer. So now let's go back to the LibGuide and look at some other resources. So back in the LibGuide, here's the library catalog we were just in. You can also go to EBSCO Discovery Service. Now, EBSCO is an online reference system that compiles all of the different digital resources the library offers in one search engine. Okay, so with EBSCO, again, you can enter some keywords. We'll just do a basic search. So Rwanda genocide and search. Okay, something that's really helpful is, like you saw, it will give you the list that might have some helpful suggestions similar to Google. So be sure to check out that. And here you have all of the full texts of these different articles that you can then look at. Okay, so let's say this is a little bit too much. Well, let's go back and we can do a more advanced search. Okay, now with the advanced search, you can say Rwanda genocide, and maybe you're focusing on some of the key leaders or some of the key players. Okay, let's do a search for that, and then let's see what else we can do. That looks good. And you can also specify if you want images, graphs, or maps. We're going to stick to everything right now. Okay, and this gives you a much smaller list of different things that you can look at. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. This gives you all of the basic citation information, and then on the left is the full text, which you can then click on. So it'll either bring you to the actual full text, or it'll ask you to do this. We'll look it up in ProQuest. And here you have the full text of the article, which you can then go into. So EBSCO is really useful in that sense. So now let's go back to the main EBSCO page. And here you have some helpful tools on the right. So you can create a note just like you did before. You can also save this article. Okay, and you can also add it to a folder, so that way, again, you can keep a running list of all the useful articles that you find, and you don't have to be scrambling to look for them again. Okay, let's go back to the LibGuide main page again. And let's take a look at the e-sources and websites. So at the e-sources and websites, you have articles and other media, you have scholarly and newspaper articles, and you have websites. Let's take a look at the articles and other media. And again, all of these are helpful. We're going to just highlight a few of the really useful ones in the screencast. And Ms. Anderson will go over those further in the library. So first we have the e-library. And the e-library is a very user-friendly search engine. So let's give this one a go. So we'll type in Rwanda genocide. Okay, and you have all of these different specifications that you can look for. We're going to keep them all checked right now. Let's say search. And once it brings you to the page, it gives you this overall overview of everything as well as useful additional links. So that's really helpful. And then down here, you have a breakdown of all of the different source results. So maybe you just want newspapers, you can get those 40 results. Maybe you just want magazines, you can get those 130 results. And then you can obviously click on it here. So this is a really useful tool, and it organizes things in a very user-friendly way. One of the best ways to use this is for the map portion of your project. So let's go back to search, and let's say we just want to look for maps, okay? So we're looking at Rwanda. And so it pulls up this country description of Rwanda up here, and then down here are all these different kinds of maps that you might find really helpful for your project. So that's useful to know. Finally, let's take a look at the advanced search options in here. So with the advanced search options, okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can go through, you can include newspaper articles older than 90 days, which most of you will want to do, and then you have these options below. Okay, so that's the e-library. Again, e-library can be very helpful in the ways we just went over. Now let's go back to the LibGuide again. Okay, the next one I want to point out is ProQuest. Now, ProQuest looks at all different newspaper articles and compiles them all together in one spot. ProQuest searches are very similar to the other searches we were just doing. So let's say we want to do Rwanda genocide, click enter, and it will bring you all of these different articles. So you have journal articles, you have the Wall Street Journal, Evening News, New York Times will show up here. okay? And you can look for different subjects in that way. ProQuest is also helpful in that it does give you these related searches that could also prove very useful. So be sure you take a look up there, okay? Down here you have all of the results, and you also have the 123 digital or eBrary ebooks. So you can look at your search results like that too. Okay, let's go back to the LibGuide. And let's take a look at Classroom Video on Demand, which is actually one of my favorite tools to use. So Classroom Videos on Demand is not only just videos. Let's take a look. So if I want to find a video on the Rwanda genocide, it brings up a list of relevant search topics. So let's click on that first one. All right, and what this website does is, yes, it gives you the video, but it also gives you these tools over here. So the first one is segments. And what segments are essentially the chapters within the video. So rather than spending 56 minutes and watching this whole video, you can look at the segment summaries and see which parts of the video might be most relevant to your project, and then watch those specifically. And it tells you how long each one is. Okay, then you also have the transcript tab. And what the transcript is the literal script of the video. So you can take quotes, you can remember specific words that were said. Okay, finally, the website does give you a list of related videos that it thinks might be also relevant in whatever it is that you're searching. So this can be a great way to get some footage of the genocide, to maybe play around with some primary source material. And again, make sure you take advantage of those transcript and segment options. Okay, so let's go back to the LibGuide. And at the LibGuide, you have the scholarly newspaper article websites, as well as websites in general. Now, these are fairly self-explanatory, and the search engines are very similar to the ones that we've been over. Okay, with these websites, you can play around with these to see which ones could be useful to you as well. Please, guys, you want to remember to cite all of your sources. You've all used EasyBib. Remember to go there. Remember to keep a running list of every source that you use, whether it's background information or it's a specific quote or image. Please make sure you remember to do that. Okay, finally, if you're still looking for some tips on how to search, you can go to the Tutorials tab. And this has different YouTube tutorials for ways to most effectively perform research in these different databases. So that's a great tool to use. You also want to remember to use Mrs. Anderson. She is a wonderful resource and an extreme wealth of knowledge about the library. So please ask her questions and go to her for help. Come to me, come to Mr. Cully. We want to make sure you are really able to dig into this research and really learn about your genocide. So on that note, happy researching and have fun with this.